Good morning, everybody. We're back for our July, kicking it off with Miss Sabrina.
Hello.
And Tammy, the on-air advocate. Sabrina, can you give the folks that aren't on your platform watching this right now know your platform?
My platform is Sabrina Thomas, the special needs empowerment coach. And I also have a special needs parent group called Especially Loved.
Love it. So me and Sabrina like to kick off every month with hanging out together for sometimes a long time and sometimes a little bit of time. And throwing out all the things that you guys have been tackling over the last month and, updates from everybody and share. So Sabrina was having a little trouble with the mic, so we didn't even get to talk. So hey, what's going on?
This is we're freestyling this today.
Well, I was telling her we were talking. Well, we did throw out that the corona, as Sabrina likes to say, is still in the streets, right?
It's still in the streets, honey. It's still there. Okay. Just because these stores are open, these restaurants and these beaches are open, corona is still in the streets. So be safe.
Yes. And how is it in Virginia? What's going on?
Well, as of today, I guess when the governor comes on, which is normally around 2:00, he's going to announce, I'm assuming unless he changed his mind, that we're going to phase 3 today. Okay. So I'm hoping that he changed his mind, and because the cases are increasing, right? The deaths are decreasing, but that just because of that doesn't mean that people are still getting it. They're just not, they're fighting it. But that's still a bad thing. I'm grateful that people are not, passing away because of the corona as much as they were before, but the cases are out of control. So I'm not really sure if he's going to do it. 2 weeks ago, he said, next week we'll do 3. The beaches are open. Most of the stores are open. Everything is kind of like opening back slowly but surely. Some restaurants are not letting people come inside. Some are, they're picking and choosing. Some are just still doing takeout. Or you can pick up curbside or something like that, but I'm not going in any restaurant. I want to eat. I likes to eat, and that's my problem too, because I got to get rid of this corona weight. All this quarantine and stuff, it's not cute. So that's why I'm doing my walking and my exercises, working it out.
And if you're viewing, please drop below in the comments what's going on in your state, how it is, and you guys have been pretty conservative. I feel like in Virginia, your governor has been pretty conservative. Here in Wisconsin, we just had the all hats lifted in May, where it's like, whatever you want to do. And now, so out in my area, because I live kind of in a tourist area of Wisconsin, they didn't go back after the ruling came in to lift everything. They didn't go back, shut anything down. So tourist action is going strong. I call it in the LG. That's Lake Geneva. It's where lots of the tourists from the Chicagoland area come, and they have their homes. And so with that, we're live, Marcus. Oh, this is this morning real life.
This is real talk right here. This is real talk.
And say hi to the folks. This is live.
Hi, Marcus.
No, we're not eating early lunch right now because you just. Now I have a dog in here. This is real life on the on-air advocate and the empowerment. You got to put your head in there so people can say hi.
Hi, Marcus.
Okay, do Rose say hi? Can you get Rose? So you're gonna meet the dog.
Rose, come here, Mama.
Okay, the dog is here. Sabrina.
Let's see the dog.
Okay, Rose. Okay, here. This is Rose. Rose is.
I'm not a dog fan, but that's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, Rose is what is she? A micro
mini French bulldog.
A Frenchie bulldog.
Okay.
Yes, and she's kind of become our family dog, but she came here via my youngest son to join us. If anybody else have Frenchie bulldogs, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Take a picture. Let us see.
Let us see. So you don't have any dogs, Sabrina?
No, I'm allergic to dog hair, animals, cats, everything. Omar too, really bad.
Yes. Um,
I'm gonna make you handle it.
I am. We are all anaphylactic to cats, and I would say any fluffy-haired dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So she was just coming to visit us for a while.
Mm-hmm. And how long was a while?
It's been a little while now.
Okay.
So, but she's very tiny. She looks a little bigger in the screen, but she's like just like I don't know, 6 pounds. You know what I'm saying? She's
Okay.
just a
She's
tiny little. Yeah. So she doesn't shed too much. So back to the LG. And the coronavirus. So they decided to open everything up with no perimeters. Nobody had to wear a mask. Nobody had to do anything. And it was packed like a concert since the week before Memorial Day. And now just this last week, about 5 restaurants closed.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Because their staff got the coronavirus. So, and then in the Madison area, we have a real high influx. So I don't know. We're not where Arizona is, because Arizona is shutting back down and Houston is shutting back down.
Yeah. So you guys, so what's the numbers are looking like? Far as the cases and far as the death, is it steady? Is it going up?
The cases have been high, 500 or 600 a day. But now when you think about like Florida and things, some of those other places are having thousands per day.
What about the
that has gone down a little bit, and actually our biggest grouping right now is that age of like 20 to 29.
Yes.
And so it's really hard to tell right now. Obviously out in my area, you definitely know it's because all of those people were gathering together. Now in our inner city, where there have been different protesting and things like that going on, that hasn't seen its ramifications yet. You understand? Because from the date that it started, you know how you have to give all those weeks before you actually and so in my area, there was a high influx of people on Memorial Day, and right now we're just the impact. So I don't know, what would that be, like 6 weeks almost, right?
Yes. Yeah, about 6 weeks. Yeah. And so I wonder what's going to happen for this weekend.
I know, and what people's choices. And does anybody have ideas? If you are having a barbecue and stuff, how do you make it safe? I've been thinking about that transmission of even a barbecue outside, social distancing, but serving food. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you, unless you pre-portioned it, so people, like everybody had their own plate, like every family had their own family style plate.
How about this? How about you barbecue and stay in your own house? Everybody barbecue and stay in their own house and barbecue. Talk on the cell phone. Yeah, barbecue in your own house. Stay in your own house.
That makes it a lot better. Yeah, I was thinking. Dr. Nicole Rochester, who has been on the show before, she has been doing a lot of the segments on the coronavirus. Hey, Nikki. She has been doing a lot of segments on it, and was talking about that she doesn't feel that there's any really true way to quarantine, and I mean not quarantine, barbecue safely. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get together for the 4th of July really safe.
No, I don't really think there's a safe way, except for the way I just said. Stay in your own house and barbecue your own chicken, your own hot dogs, your own steak and ribs and stuff in your own house by yourself with your own family. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, it's how is it going to be safe? I mean, if you're having a lot of people, it's just not, it's just not. I mean, your yard got to be really big to be spreading out. Like I live in a townhome, so I have a patio and a little bit, but it's really small. So it ain't have to be quarantine, social distancing 3 people, and it's a wrap. The patio is done. So, but if you have a big yard, you could do it. I have a couple girlfriends that had a big yard. We can literally space ourselves out and talk and yell through the yard and at each other if we wanted to, but.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking about that transmission of food, because we do have a big, like a party we're going to, but it's a big area for fireworks and some things like that, where everybody can have their distance. But even I kind of feel like it's like you bring your own, like bring your own food. Cause like how do you touch other people's serving utensils? And you know what I'm saying? There's just no way that way if you have
Yeah,
any
because
food involved.
because you could catch it just like that. Use these utensils,
Mhm.
all the stuff that's laid out. I have it now. I'm laying all the stuff out now. Everybody who's touching the stuff is now exposed. So yeah, so
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And Nikki is asking, how are you doing, Miss Sabrina?
I am great. I am great. Look, I told you guys before when we first started these let's chat like in April, like I
Yeah.
think April. I'm living my best life in this quarantine. I'm good. I'm an introvert anyway, so this is great for me. The only thing about it is, of course, it's hot outside. You want to go outside. I do get in the car, take a ride. I get Omar out in the car, take a ride, and we do go. I let him go to my mom's house, and that's the only house he's going to outside of the doctor's office. So, and he has fun over there. So, and I take him for a drive because I want him to see the trees, the sun, the skies outside of looking out the window. But Omar has too many things going on with his body, and I just don't feel comfortable with him at this time because he got respiratory issues
Right,
with his lungs, asthma, and so do I. And it's just not that important,
right, right.
I could take him outside in the front. I could take him in the patio. He don't even like to be in the heat anyway. He's bougie. He's used to the air conditioning. So he is living his best life. But we do get in the car, ride around
To see
in the car to see stuff. He doesn't get outside of the car unless he's going in and out the car. And he's good, he's good.
right. Now, have you guys we just started doctor appointments and stuff again. Nikki and anybody else who's, catching this, are you guys going out to doctor appointments and everything already?
Well, I wasn't doing the doctor's appointments, but I had to set it off a little bit, because Omar takes Botox every 90 days, and he
Right.
hasn't had Botox all year. I mean, they changed the appointment for February, the beginning of March, because it kind of started. Then the next one, they moved it back, and then his muscles was tight, his hands was all like scrunched up like this. I mean, he was not being able to stretch his legs out. And I had to, and they kept, doing the telehealth, appointments and taking video of his legs and stuff. And I'm like, look, like this boy needs to get his Botox. Like, I'm tired of these appointments. You need to see him, and he needs this Botox because he's struggling to walk and he's in pain. And, his pain is different, Tammy, and your son is, can verbalize his thoughts and stuff, but, for the most part, but my son is, I don't know if he doesn't say he's in pain unless he's really in a lot of pain. But for the most part, I know something's wrong because he starts to act funny, like he's aggressive and a lot of anxiety. He's really aggressive, and he's not an aggressive child, young man. So when he starts it's in his face. I can look in his eyes and be like, okay, what's wrong? Something's wrong. And then I have to figure it out. And I really can't ask him because if I do that, if I ask him, he's going to say everything that I say. Is it your head? Yeah. Is it your arms? Yeah. Is it your leg? He's going to say yeah to everything. So I have to then figure maybe touching him one by one and seeing how his face reacts to different parts of my touching. And that's just what the doctors do. So I just learned to do it myself. But they finally did it the other day when I posted my group that Omar had 20 injections, and he's never had 20.
Right.
He needed 20 because he was so backed up from not having nothing all year in his July. So they had to do more, and they had to do them on the wrist too. And they normally they've only done that about 2 times in his whole life. But his hands were so jacked up, and you have to do it for the wrist to release the tension in his hands. Yes. So, that was rough. And he's been taking the Botox since he probably was like 5, maybe younger than that.
How does he do with that recovery then of coming home, like where the needle area is? Does he have a lot of sensitivity or need any kind of Tylenol or ibuprofen or pain from the pokes?
So, yeah. So back in the day, he used to get sedated. So once you get a certain age, like 11 or 12, they're like, okay, they can just deal with it. So he doesn't get sedated anymore. So the pokes, they usually put Band-Aids on him, and I used to be like, okay, you're going to stop putting 10, 12 Band-Aids on his legs. Like, just cut it out. Like, it's just too much.
Right.
But there's certain parts of his legs is more sensitive than others as far as the bleeding. Like, this more, is bleeding heavy, so they have to put the Band-Aid there. He doesn't really require anything with the pokes. He doesn't want you touching him.
Okay.
Like I have to give him a shower before he goes, and then maybe I'll wait for the next shower the next morning, because he doesn't want water hitting it, nothing. Like, I can't dry it off, nothing. Like, don't touch me. So I have to give him a shower before, and I'm like, okay, he can wait till next morning to take a shower. He's in the bed, he's laying down. I give him Tylenol before we go.
Okay.
When I give him Tylenol, 6 hours later. Most of the time he's fine. He just doesn't want you to touch him.
Okay.
Like,
First,
do not touch him at all. Yeah.
What was so interesting on that day, Sabrina, you posted that, and we went on the same day. We were at the same clinic in 2 different states.
Oh, really?
Spasticity clinic, yeah, because we were going back to have the full discussion, because we had seen hematology the week before.
Okay.
I talked to his hematologist about the Botox and them wanting to try that, and the pain he experienced before, and he has a bleeding disorder, and whether or not that would be a good match, and what hematology made recommendations. So hematology made recommendations for the spasticity clinic that if he was going to try Botox, this is what they wanted him to do. Okay, this is how they wanted it to be. But then they decided instead, okay, then I think he just wants to be on the show with us. I think that's
all right. It's all right. The more the merrier. Let's go.
But then after talking to her and telling her obviously all of the worry from some of the other doctors, they now referred him over to the neurotherapy clinic to try another form of like stimulation and different therapy on his legs. But now the catch to that is that in the therapy center, they're not letting really new people in. You know what I'm saying? Because COVID is still there. So like tonight, which is really odd, we have a 6:45 p.m. doctor appointment.
Tonight?
Yeah, I feel like, are we going to dinner?
Okay.
So some of the doctors, I think they're grouping together. They have these gaps in between appointments. At our hospitals, it's 45 minutes between every appointment. So nobody's in the room. So we haven't got to that clinic yet, but we'll see. We'll see once we try it, if it works. But, you give me faith that if I have to do the Botox, I'll be okay. I mean, I guess he'll be okay.
Yeah. No, listen, let me tell you the real deal. It's really be me, because it's actually me. He's been getting this since he was like, let's say 5. I think it might have been 4 or 5. And then it was harder then because he was smaller, but they were sedating him. But it was still rough because I knew when he got up, he probably was sore. I don't know what he feels like because I never had that. I don't like needles at all. Don't even want to take my blood. I like, where's the butterfly? Where's the butterfly needle? Don't, and I'm acting like a baby myself. But usually after the 5th needle, that's when his body starts to do something. And he's like, okay, I figured out what you guys are doing. Stop it. And then they had to get like 3 people in the office to hold him down because he's so strong. He was moving and jerking his legs. And, you can't have that when you're giving somebody needles. And they're not little needles either. They're big needles. And they're like going, and pulling it out. And my stomach is jacked up. Like the 24 hours on the way, I was sick. My stomach was hurting. I was drinking hot tea, and my nerves are bad because I just feel for him.
Yeah,
I hate to see him go through that. And then he gives me this look, almost like, look, lady, for real, you're not gonna help me out. Like, you gonna let them do this to me, Mom? Like, for real, like, you don't got my back. And I feel so bad because he's looking at me like, help, and I can't do anything. So after we do the Botox, every time I say, what do you want to go eat? You want to go sit? You hungry? And he's like, yeah. And then he'll say, I said, you want Chick-fil-A? You want Panera Bread? What do you want? You want, and I said, you want pizza? He was like, I want pizza, pepperoni and cheese. I said, okay, so we got the pizza.
Guilt.
So, I got to do what I got to do to keep him happy. That's it.
Nikki was saying that she went to the doctor's office for the first time and was scared, but what is okay now. Yeah, just that feeling of going in and you know what I'm saying? Like, are you protected? Is there more, germs, the whole process of it, Yeah. Nikki, are you back to, if you're still watching, are you back to like regular? Do you go to weekly appointments or just, just following up with the doctors maybe you missed over the COVID time? No, so we did that. But you know what? Hematology told me, interestingly, that if you have anything with bleeding conditions, is that really they should use the smallest needle possible when they put it in. And they should start out with only 5 pokes at one time. They only wanted him to start out with 1 leg, 5 pokes, and see if any hematomas or anything like that came out.
Smart. That sounds really smart.
Be cautious. You know what I'm saying with all of that? Okay. So here's my PSA for July. This is my warning, my public service announcement.
Okay, let's hear it.
All, I'm sure, saw the post about people sharing the hand sanitizer that was toxic, right? That there was a couple brands that are toxic.
I didn't get that.
Okay, well, if somebody has it, drop the link in here. If not, I'll drop it after. There's like 10 companies that made hand sanitizer that had some toxic agent in it. So that you shouldn't use those. But then they also spoke about how, did you know that hand sanitizer is extremely flammable with the alcohol in it? So many of us, because we're sanitizing all the time, we don't necessarily have our hand sanitizer like hooked up to our wallet or our purse, or maybe you're a guy and you don't have a purse or a wallet to hook it on. So we end up putting it like in the cup holder of our car and all of that. And so with that, I took all mine out of the car, but I forgot this one in one of my little drop boxes. It used to be flat. Okay. So this is one of those little ones I got from like a healthcare company. Okay. Hand sanitizer. It used to be flat. Okay. I came into the car and we've had some 90-degree weather days. I found it. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was blowing up. So now it's fat and it was ready to literally explode. And it only had that much hand sanitizer left in it.
Okay. So where did you have this at?
In my car. Okay.
Well, I'm going to have to get mine out of my car because I got 2 sitting on my floor.
Yeah. And they showed on the news and stuff, your car can start on fire.
What?
This can blow up.
And hand sanitizer?
In night of fire. And so I didn't believe it. I took the big bottles out of my car, but this one was just a tiny speck left in there. It was blowing up. It was like this. It was like inflamed and it was like almost smoldering. I mean, it bent the plastic. It reformulated the plastic.
Oh, that's crazy. Because you know what? I have, since all this been happening, with the COVID, I keep hand sanitizer in my car. Yeah. Like I have a small one, not a little bit bigger than that one. And that way, like I never, like if I forget, like, from going somewhere, I'll do it in the car, so that now I'm going to just put it in my purse. Yeah. And I leave it in my car. So I always know I have it.
Right. So now I'm going to do all of them this way. So I'm going to get all of them that have the clip, on them. So I'll clip it to the side of our bag, our purse. Yeah. All of them are clippable on, so I don't forget them in the car. But seriously, I didn't believe it at first. Like, okay, come on, a speck of hand sanitizer gonna blow. It was like, I was like, oh my gosh. So, public service announcement: take your hand sanitizer.
Oh, yes. Once we get off this live, I'm going to the car, honey, and bring it all inside.
I was like, let's not all get our cars to blow up over some hand sanitizer. That will be a whole different issue, right? For the month of July, your car blows up.
So, Tammy, as we talked about the 4th of July, and you already know, I'm not doing that. Right. We're probably gonna grill. I might do a little grilling, and everything like that, because I want to eat and just hang out and just whatever. I got my 4th of July paper plates and stuff from the grocery store and my cups. I don't know why I did that, like somebody's coming over here, but I still like to be in the spirit, the holiday spirit. What are you doing? What are you gonna do? What are your plans?
Well, originally, because my sister has traveled, so they're like kind of on like a 14-day quarantine thing, but I haven't seen her. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, Friday night by her house, they're not allowed to leave their houses, but they're right by a lake. So they were gonna, the lake was gonna be shooting off fireworks. So we were going to go and stand outside, like on the lawn, you know what I'm saying, to kind of be together. But now they just said that they're shutting roads down at like 2 o'clock. Well, I'm not gonna stand on her lawn from 2 o'clock till 9:30.
Wait a minute. Where does your sister live at?
She still lives in the outside the Milwaukee County area, like in a suburb.
So she's quarantined because she went somewhere else and came back home?
Yes. Yeah, she just got back to Florida, and she said there are lots of mask wearing. Lots of that flight, her airline flight was only about 50% full.
That's a good thing.
Mhm.
I would love for them to only do 50% full. That
Right.
way people can, because you're not on the plane. I've seen somebody take a picture on the plane. I saw it on Facebook the other day, and they were scrunched up, and everybody was like on the plane, like, do not sit. What are you doing? Like, that's not. Everybody had on masks, but my shoulder is on this person, and then on this side, somebody's shoulder's hitting on me because the chairs are all together. So how is that? Like, I don't
Right. I
think.
didn't think. Yeah, and anybody, if you catch us on the replay or you're watching now, have you traveled? Are you planning on traveling? Are you planning on getting back in a plane anytime soon? Myself, the answer is no.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not planning on getting on in a plane anytime soon, unless it has to be like. I mean, my son and my mom are here, and my grandson, and so I don't have to get on a plane to get to them. I'm not doing that. If I had to go somewhere, family, which I will be doing that soon. I'm going to get in the car and go.
Right.
If I have to, go somewhere, it will be the car, for family.
Yeah. So what it seems like is that a lot of areas, if they are shooting off any fireworks, are closing their roads to only their neighborhoods much sooner. So, my friend was telling me if their road is closing at 2 o'clock and we're not going in her house.
Okay.
Right? Because we haven't done that yet. I'm not going into her house and cross contamination. I'm not going to stand on her lawn from 2 o'clock till 9:30. Mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that we'll do anything that way. Saturday night, we have a friend that has a real big yard that we're going to go and social distance, no food, and watch some fireworks. Their yard. And then Sunday, a little, just like family, immediate family that we already see, just
So, it's going to be a different kind of 4th of July, because I, normally would have friends, you kind of go and hop over their houses and, grab something real quick, just have a couple cocktails if that's your choice to do and keep it moving. But it's different. You just, it's just not the same. And I'm okay with that because different sometimes, just new changes, you have to be safe. And I just, pray for everyone. I know there's people that are not doing that. They're doing what they want to do. They're going to the beach, going on trips and stuff. And I just pray for them that they're safe. And, I just, I will, when these numbers come out after about a week or so after the holiday, I just don't think it's going to be a pretty thing. I just think because people are still in denial. People still don't believe. People think that, it's not going to happen to them. Oh, okay. I'm going to be safe. I wash my hands and I have hand sanitizer, so I'm good. But it's a combination of a lot of things that you have to do on a daily basis to be safe. Just not washing your hands and putting hand sanitizer is going to stop you from getting the COVID-19. It's a lot of things together that you have to keep doing dearly. And it's different. It's the new normal, and it doesn't always feel comfortable and fun, but it is what it is,
Right. And I think if we're looking at what's happening in other states, it's very evident, but I think we're still in a lot of disbeliefs. And so when everything gets shut down again, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to all come together. You know what I'm saying? On all of this, because if we don't work together on it, right, if we're not all doing the same thing, I feel like we're just kind of going in a circle.
Yeah, but I do support the states. I don't know if they're actually going to enforce this. That I heard that a lot of the states, when you're driving in, you're not going to be able to get in. Like they're going to turn you back around unless you're working essential coming from certain states because, those are the states that, have high increases. And I get that because why would you want to go anyway? And they have to be safe too. I mean, you're coming from New York and you're going to Virginia. Not saying that everybody in New York has the coronavirus because I know they don't, but
Right.
it's just like, what do you do? Certain states are supposed to be stopping that. You're entering another state.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I know some of them are putting it up. We are not. There's nothing that's really changed here in our state for this coming up weekend. They've lightened a little bit of more acceptance, like into the restaurants, because the only place that had any form of lockdown is in our inner city of Milwaukee.
Okay.
They had some like provisions with the restaurants and all of that kind of stuff, and now they've loosened it to up to like 250 people at a gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And 50% of occupancy in buildings.
Let me ask you a question. Are you guys like bowling alleys open? No, we don't have bowling alleys open here. And like movie theaters, you don't have that open?
Well, the movie theaters opened up on, so 3 of our movie theaters decided they were going to do outdoor screens. But the problem is no new movies have come out. So they're charging per car, but they're playing old movies. So I don't think that's been really a great thing. Like
you can watch it on Netflix at your house.
And now we've had this heat wave, which is super humid and it's like 90 some degrees. So it's like not like you're going to be at a drive-in trying to listen in the 90 degree, let your car run the whole time with the air
conditioning. Yeah.
Theaters were supposed to open a few of them on like the 20th of June. But when I've driven past, there's like 5 cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, I think they're trying to open here. They want to, I guess, because I ride past. There's one that's around the corner, and I love to go because I like to go to the movie theaters that have the reclining seats and they have food and you can order food and eat food, there because I'm always eating something. So, and they have drinks and everything. It's cool. So, but I think I always see people cleaning and something. No cars, no movies are playing, but I think they're preparing themselves. And
Right.
I pulled up to one of them a couple of weeks ago and asked the people that were working outside, and they said that when they open, they're not going to have you sitting together. They're going to do like every other seat. So you can go to movies, me and you can go to movies, but you're going to be like, one seat away from me, which is cool if we want to do it. I think that's smart. If you're going to do that, but they're cleaning them down, they're doing all the stuff,
Right.
they're spraying, they got all the stuff, and I see it. I see them doing it like every now and then when I ride past it. They're always got something going on. They're redoing the carpets and everything. It's just like, try to get it together because people like to go to the movies. I'm a movie girl. but I've been watching them on TV, Showtime and HBO.
I'm going to feel like ready for that. I haven't even let my best friend in my house.
Yeah.
February. Like we were just talking about that. Like, I don't know.
I with the movies, I can understand from a business owner perspective. They would want to, show their the customers like, hey, we're ready. We care about you. I personally am not going to the movies right now. Well, first of all, ain't no movies playing because ain't nobody made no movies unless it was already made and they're coming out. But I don't think there's a lot of stuff. Well, I haven't seen it since coming soon. And I think there might be some movies out. People are just not flashing them out and pushing the dates back because they know good and well they ain't going to be, nobody's going.
Right. Is there any movie that anyone who is tuning in or watches the replay that you're waiting for it to come out? I know that my boys are waiting for the new Fast and Furious movie to come out. So that's supposed to be fast.
Yeah, I heard about that. Now, yeah, of course, I do all the things. I've been watching them on TV, like the old ones. I love them. I can't get enough. I can watch them on and over and over and over and over.
What about you? Is there a different movie? Is there any other movies that you've known that are coming out? I haven't
really seen any coming soon. I haven't seen that for a while. I haven't seen anything, and I don't think they're advertising it like that because they know good well when they say the movie's coming out, nobody's probably majority of the people are not going to go.
Right.
It's not even safe to do that. So why would we put the movie out? I'm ready for my soap operas to come back on. I'm getting tired of these 1994 soap operas from back in the day when I was a little kid or in high school, and these old movies. And I need to see some updated stuff. But they're not shooting because they can't.
Right.
You
Right.
can't social distance on the soap operas. You can't do that.
Okay, so during this quarantine time, I know that if we jump back to the space of different abilities and special needs and empowerment and all that, I feel like if you had a lot of books coming out, do you have books that you have a lot of books that are coming out, don't you?
Yeah, I have one coming out. I co-authored a book in August, but then I have one coming out in March, but my book is coming out next year.
Okay, so you have in the next 6-7 months 3 books coming out.
Mm-hmm.
See, she's a worker bee. She's getting it done.
Oh no, Corona's not stopping me. It's not a joke around here. You know what? This is an opportunity,
right,
for me to, and I think I said this before. I went part-time on my job, and this is an opportunity for me to take care of my business, for my brand, for me, and to learn and grow as a business person, as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur. So I'm taking all this time to do new things. So yeah, I started an anthology in March that I found, and it went a book, and it went the pre-sale was on Mother's Day because it's called Boss Moms. So these are the times I'm just being productive, because when I finally go back to work at my job, part-time or not, I'm going to have to be focused on the job. I'm not going to have as much time. So I have to take this time and do everything I need to do. So I'm just a brand new me. Everything's new. I'm just a new opportunity, just everything.
Yes. You need a shirt that says "Living My Best Life."
Yeah, we all, and I know you're not talking. I know you're not talking about all those businesses you got going on back there. Like, you're the inspiration over here. I'm trying to keep up with you.
I have to say that it has been obviously a tough spot. I think that there's tons of heavy stuff that is going on, and I think you have to push like you're doing. Like, I'm going to use this time, and I'm going to use it wisely, and I'm going to ingest positivity. You know what I'm saying? And exhale negativity and get it out, so that you can continue moving forward and being positive and making those healthy choices. And I think that's mentally healthy, for all of us as well. It's good mental wellness to do so. I have finally made some decisions of small things. So I secured this, and I am going to be, for the first time, I've never joined in an anthology, like a group book. I've never done that in my whole life, where I was an author, right? That's an anthology, right?
Yes.
When it's all the grouping of,
everybody's an author, a co-author,
I asked lots of times to do it, but my friend and fellow special needs mom, Chu, is doing one on caregivers. So we were talking about it yesterday, and so you can still sign up, Sabrina. So I'm going to do.
Just give me the link. I'm already on that. Let's go. Let's do it. Where's the link? I'm on it. And you know what? The thing about it is, Tammy, you know what? I just want to let you know I'm putting it out there for all the special needs moms. Mm-hmm. and parents and caregivers. I actually took a training course, and I'm actually taking another one soon, because I actually want to do that myself. I've been in 8 anthologies, and it's this last one is the 8th one. Well, it's going to be 9 because I'm about to sign up for the one that you just told me about. So, and then I want to actually do one maybe next year. With special needs moms. So I'm just trying to figure out like what the title is. I'm just putting it out there. So all you moms, is Tammy, Nikki, all you guys, we're gonna work this out. We're gonna do this thing.
Right. I need to be more technology savvy, because I can't even figure out how to tag somebody on this thing, because we had the StreamYard thing going on. And then that Corona and this home thing got to my head, because here I'm a businesswoman, and I thought that I signed up for StreamYard for 1 month to try it out. So I was like, oh, we're going to try it out. That's when me and Sabrina, remember we first tried it out, me and you. Yeah. And we did that. And then I just realized this morning, like, oh, I've paid for 2 months. Like I've been paying.
Yeah.
And forgot.
Well, that has nothing to do with your technical skills. That means you're not paying attention to what's coming out of your bank account.
There are too many things. There's too many things going on. Okay, I'm trying to get, why does it keep only letting me want to do it this way? Okay, I'm just going to have to message her afterwards that you want.
What's the name of the anthology? Can you tell that? Or is it not?
Like the something about the caregiver's journey. We were in the private on-air advocate community yesterday morning, because we did a segment on post-traumatic stress disorder in wrapping up June. And so she put it out there, and things wrap up. You have to sign up, and then you have to have your chapter done by the end of July.
Okay. Just give me the information, and I'm on top of that. Girl, let me tell you something. And you know what's telling me the funny thing about it is, if you would have told me this 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, I ain't writing no book. I'm not even reading. What are you talking about, girl? And you know what? It's just that, the Lord works it out. It definitely was in his plan and not in mine. Right. And, I'm loving it. Like, I am so excited when someone, and I try to stick to stuff that's aligned with what I'm doing in my business, and I can't wait to even do my own, because, when you get your own product, your own way, it's just exciting. But back in the day, you couldn't have told me this 4 years ago, because I was like, I'm not even buying, I'll buy a book. I didn't brought books and I never even read them. But now it's just like, I got a library in the back of my house. Like and I just love it. I just love it,
Yeah. And if you're in this space, like you said, for other parents that are traveling the journey, if you're a caregiver, you're caring for your elderly loved ones, this is a good time that if you can get some writing out, sometimes that emotionally helps that mental wellness as well to do so. But because I run multiple, businesses, I just haven't ever done that. And I thought, you know what? I love
about that. You have 4 or 5 books in your house that you need to. We talked at least 2 or 3, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not done, but they're done. Like, they're not out, but
yes. And if you can tag Mia, she's going to get my life straight with getting a lot of the classes and courses typed out. So it's going to help me to just get them laid out. And I think that's for a lot of us, just getting things purged, like out of our brain, really helps your mental wellness.
And that's what I've been doing, and so a lot of times these books, when I write the chapter for whatever it is, it's actually therapeutic, because some things you have all this information or these feelings or this something that you want to share and inside of you. And then once it's out, it's like, whew, it's out. So, it could be very therapeutic to actually journal, get all this stuff out. Not that you have to publish it, but just in journal in general.
Right. And get that out. And so the other thing that I am working on is, because obviously for those that do know that I own a salon and spa, and by trade, makeup, skin guru, and all of that. I know. That's what I was saying. Look at Sabrina's skin. It's glowing all the way from Virginia.
Yes. No makeup. Yeah. We're working it out. Skincare.
And so getting together all of my stuff so that I can do all the online lessons.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
For teens and moms and those that are doing Zoom now and working from home and all of that. So I can bring all those skill set, but do it online in a safe environment. Because really, when we talk about the salon and spa industry, it's kind of like being a doctor, right? You're really close to people. So some of those things are not going to become where you're going in regularly to get them done. In some areas, like we haven't even opened up our aesthetic area yet, just for the danger of it, like doing facials and makeup and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming that you're not doing do you have a date for the parties? No.
For parties, no. Because really, would you have like kids or adults? You're not going to be at a party to get together sitting.
Well, yeah, because I'm saying I've seen people. Someone had 2 people that I know had birthday parties for their child last weekend. I was like, okay. So, I know people, everybody's different. Everybody said, okay, I know I'm trying to be safe, but there were like 15 or 16 kids. They were all jumping around, doing all kind of stuff. Right. And I'm like, I don't know how that's safe, but to each his own, to each his own. But people are still having parties and doing stuff. So I wasn't sure whether you open to that. But then you have to think about it. It's not just for the person who's having a party. You're thinking about yourself or the person, your employees being safe, being exposed to the 15, 16 kids and the 15, 16 mothers.
I think it comes down you as business owners is that they really, no matter what your state is doing, they say to look at the CDC, some of those guidelines, and you have to be honest with yourself.
So, yeah.
And say to yourself, really, think about how transmission happens even with the flu. Would you let all your employees come to work with the flu?
No.
You know, you tell them to
you
go.
know what? Now listen to that last thing you said. Would you, now I know good and well, where I work, I'm not even saying it, but people know where I work. Them people, my coworkers that came to work coughing, hawking, they had the flu, whatever they had. And sometimes it was just like, you need to get to work and close your door and we'll spray Lysol.
Right.
That was the deal back in the day. That was before COVID. Now I know if whenever we go back to work and that happens, it's going to be like, you got to go, like get out. Everybody, but people will send people to work and tell you have to go to work just because you're coughing and you got the whatever and things need to get done. Just close your door and stay in your office unless you have to go to the bathroom. It's a new day. You can't do that anymore. And people come to work sick because they don't have any time. They don't have, they can't afford it. They don't have, have vacation time. So they come and they just bring their cough medicine. I've seen it. Close their door and keep it moving. But it's a new day. You can't do that anymore.
You can't. You definitely can't. But and I think about what happens when you do that. You know that you all get sick,
Of
right?
course.
Like in my work, if somebody comes to work sick, the next person gets sick, and then the next person.
Like 3 days later, now it was Sarah. Now Emily's sick, and then now Rosemary's sick, and it's like, but it might not be in the same day. And even like for school, I've seen parents give their kids cough medicine at the bus stop because the bus stop is right in front of my house, and I'm like, are you giving them cough? Yeah, because to get their last cough medicine in. Before you send it, Omar is, people always said, I always do the most, but I'm very cautious about Omar and respectful for other people's kids because first of all, I don't want to send my son anywhere when he's not feeling well because I don't know the levels to what he's really feeling. So if I know he's feeling bad and he has a fever, he's not going. Like I might do an extra day. Like he's not going to go. If I think he's feeling bad, he looks like he's not right, I'm not going to send him because I don't know the level of his pain because I don't know. Because I don't know. And he's not telling me, but I don't, it's cold, flu, headache, he's not going. Like I got a doctor's note, I'll call the doctor, they'll excuse it or whatever. And I just, I won't send him.
Yes. And I would definitely, I would say the same thing. We've been just super, super cautious, with Marcus and all of that. So taking things slow, and I have no qualms with backing off. Like if we start to do something and it starts to feel unsafe or our numbers go up, I'm gonna go back into the cave, for everything.
Okay, Tammy, so I have a question.
Yes.
Are you still we still on this workout thing? What are we doing?
We are still on the workout thing. So, I can't, you've been showing up. So outside of the Honor Advocate, I have a little workout group. And some people I'm going to have to start calling them out because I don't even know where they are. Like, did you work out the last 2 months?
Yeah. You know what? And I did say I had for a while, I had stopped doing the planks and the squats because I started the walking and I walked 2 to 4 miles 4 times a week. And I'm still doing my walking. Now I started back the squats because, well, not because, but it's really pushing me because Omar is doing his virtual camp.
Okay.
And on his virtual camp, there's a half an hour where they're doing the exercises. So he's like on the camera and you have to get up and make sure the camera so they can see you doing it. So when he's doing it, that's when I'm doing it. And we're like doing it together. So that's kind of like cool. Like, I can get up. And then sometimes like when he's on on Mondays, he doesn't have camp. Like when I do it, I'll have him come downstairs and I'll have him do what he wants to do. We're kind of doing it together.
Yeah.
I can do the squats, but with his legs and everything, but he can do jumping jacks or whatever he wants to do. And I got the weights, and he doesn't do a weight, but I take like a bottle, like a cup, a water bottle, and I let him do that, something easy.
Yeah.
Something like,
What has everybody else been doing to stay active? So when you're watching here and now on the replay, let us know what you've been doing to stay active during this time, the COVID times. And I think everybody that has been home, we all really need to be monitoring not walking to the fridge.
Yeah, because I was walking and running and skipping to the refrigerator, and I got my healthy snacks because at the same time, it's like, I told you guys before, I'm diabetic and everything. So I had to change my diet about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And I noticed that for me, older I get, I just need to exercise. The diet is fine, because sometimes I slip on the diet thing too. But the diet it's not even a diet. It's just the
Healthier way of living.
lifestyle. I don't consider it a diet because it's not a diet. This is what I have to eat every day. And everybody I have a cheat day or whatever, but I don't make them 4 times a week. And
Right.
there's certain things that now that I notice when I go back to eat stuff, because I love strombolis. I like my pepperoni and the onions and the mushrooms and stuff. But the last time I had one, I couldn't halfway through. It wasn't right because I hadn't been eating all that grease and cheese, and when I went back to eat it, it didn't taste good because it made me sick.
Right.
So, which was a good thing. It showed me, okay, Sabrina, you're changing the way you're eating. You don't want to go back there. That's not good for you. So that was like a sign, like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
But I feel good when I exercise. My legs might burn a little bit, after the 3rd mile, going to the 4th mile, the walking, but I really feel really good. I feel good. Yeah.
Yes, and I have been, what I did was the doctor, oh, where is it? Oh, it's in my pocket. So, to make it simpler, our doctor recommended Marcus's dietitian recommended, they're called the 3D Fit Bud. They're 3D Fit Bud.
What is that?
I've been in my closet all morning. Here. So it's like a Fitbit, but it's really easy for anyone that may isn't going to look at he's not going to look at his phone, or attach it to a watch for that. So you can string it through here and you can make it into a necklace. And count your steps via a necklace. You can clip it to the side of you, stick it in your pocket, and it counts your steps every day. So
okay, I see it on Amazon for $24.99. Is that about what you paid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see it.
And so that just makes it easy because then you can put it around your neck. You can attach it. It's big. It's easy. It only has one button, so it's not hard for him to manipulate. And so he does it every morning. And with his dietitian team, he has to get to at least 5,000 steps a day. Hopefully to 7,000. But I always want to get to at least 10 or 15,000 a day, because that's what they say for a healthy heart and, all of that good stuff. So, love to know what everybody else has been doing for that. But I have just been trying to stay away from the fridge, really getting back to walking, as I can, getting on the elliptical if it's too hot outside, but making sure that I am moving, drinking lots of water, all of that stuff. Okay, so Sabrina, we're almost to our time that we got to wrap up, or else it's not going to. You know what it does? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't let us have our video the way we want it to be. So now that I know that, I love StreamYard, I really do. I just didn't remember that I still had it. So now, for the whole month of July, I can utilize it. So as we chatted about, I'm going to drop Chu's name below. She is the owner of Grace and Hope consulting services. And so she's the one who's writing that book. So if there's any caregiver moms, caregiver dads that want to be in the book, I know the cutoff, I think, is like tomorrow or something like that in the next couple days to get
Tammy, tomorrow.
I'm going to drop the link below. I can just enter your name. You don't have to have it written. And then the other person, Mia, she is so wonderful. She's great at copywriting and getting stuff done. So as Sabrina was saying, we should use.
Yeah, I gotta call Mia. I need her. There's a couple things I'm trying to do for me, and I'm gonna call her because she is amazing.
She is. So I told her, I'm like, you know what? You told me that one time. What you can do is how to write, and she does. She's an amazing
honey.
writer.
She definitely does.
Yes. So. I'm going to drop those below in case anybody else is trying to get some things checked off the list. And I would just urge everybody to stay safe. And the public service announcement for the day.
I ordered it. I got a blue one.
Oh, great. Okay, so you know what we do is we do a competition. So I got one for my mom and we take a photo of it. So me and you can compete every day.
I'm getting it on July 2nd. Wait a minute. I can't get on July tomorrow.
Yeah, it might be available.
Yeah, it says July 2nd. Well, that's tomorrow. How am I? It says
tomorrow.
tomorrow. I got Amazon Prime. Maybe it's going to come tomorrow.
Yes. And so at the end of every day, you could post that and be like, bam.
You know what? That's what I'll do. I'll post my steps. That's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm. That's a way to be accountable. But make sure, like we talked about, take your hand sanitizer as soon as you get off out of your.
Yeah, I'm going to the car, get that off, and I'm gonna come back and join that anthology. And I got to get to writing. Hey, and then I got a surprise for you guys. Omar's birthday is coming out. Omar's birthday is not coming out. Omar's birthday is October 29th. And Omar, you know, we got to create things for our children. And he's going to have a coloring book collection. He's going to have Omar, I don't know what the title is going to be, but he's going to have at least 10 coloring books, different coloring books, but they're going to come out on his birthday. Shh, don't tell him. So look out for that.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll have more info about that in August. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
It's gonna be August. And just so you know, at the Honor Advocate, the whole month of August is our resource month. So if you are looking for resources nationally or in your communities, I think there's already about 25 different people that I'm going to have on, hopefully a few more to add to that. So definitely a time, especially before back to school and everything, to get your resources. So different organizations and whatnot that are great resources in all areas.
We come back in August for the chat. It's closer to the time where, because I know some people start school in August, so we really want to get on top of that in the beginning of the month, because I want to know how you feel. Like, how's everybody feeling about that? You know, because a lot of people are really feeling some kind of way. And every state is doing things different as far as taking the steps to go back 3 days on, 2 days off, all this other funky stuff going on. And that might change too if some of these states start shutting back down.
Right. And for all those 2 days on, 3 days off, I mean, for those people who have multiple children, you might forget a kid, you know? You got 2 days of going to school, 3 days of not going to school, 1 day you're supposed to be at school, they're supposed to be on the bus.
Yeah, and then the parents have to work.
Yeah. And how does that happen? How does that all come together? Okay. So when we get off, we're going to tag all those things below. If you catch us on the replay, that will be awesome. Everybody have a fabulous July.
Be safe. Stay happy. Your own chicken and your own ribs and your own shrimps on a Barbie sticks or whatever you're doing. Eat your own stuff. Be safe. And put that hand sanitizer out the car.
Yes, my quote for the month is, leave the world better than you found it. So I love that. Leave the world better than you found it. So in anything that you're doing, anytime you're going to, before you speak, before you do, think about that. Are you being a piece of the solution?
I like it, Tammy. I like that. And on that note, we are out.
Bye-bye.